One thing I'm not totally certain on yet is, do I need to create the proper... Do I need to experiment with all the combinations available to me until I can create, like, what I need, like, for the story? Or is the story... Or am I gonna have, like, a story discovery that I don't really have control over when I make progress in the story? Because, like, this guy develops a thing, and the Bachelor also makes discoveries, but on his end, it was a bunch of automated story stuff. This guy actually can do mechanically the thing that he does in the story, so I'm wondering if I'm supposed to do that directly. I feel the smell of blood. You have with you the blood of a person that is not with you, right? Ivakeen knows how much blood you need. It isn't I who need it, the earth does. The earth won't take more than it needs to grow as many herbs as you will take from me. Take it. Okay, so it was just that. Bloody Twire. I'm not crazy about Bloody Twire. I think brown and black are better deals most of the time. Let's see. Yeah, it's the kidney and the liver have equal value as each other. Blood's the cheapest of all the ingredients. Hearts are the most valuable. Let's see what I can afford. Wow, I have a lot right now. Might need to visit a few vendors today. If I'm gonna visit more vendors, I should probably hold on to an extra blood in case they ask for that, because I think the other guy wouldn't let me do any of his vendoring before. Let's see. That's all of those that he has. Should I just stock up and go for it? Let's take back all the blood I can, and all the hearts I can, probably. I need to do some math here. Let's see, so I need to reduce what I'm giving you by 2. So... well, I can't increase the number of those I'm giving you. Give him 2 more blood, 2 fewer kidneys. There we go. That'll even it back out to the right number. And now you just have a whole bunch of Bloody Twire. Not dropping anything on the floor? I'm really paranoid about that now. So I've got 8 brown, 11 black at the moment. And I'm down to 2 hearts, 2 kidneys, and 7 blood. Let's see if I can get anything from his neighbor as I go through the creepy water. They keep saying it has weird, gross stuff in it that looks weird, but aside from that, it's not actually dangerous, supposedly. Which... good news! Although the water sabotage happens specifically because they don't believe them. I'm curious what's gonna happen with, the Kane's daughter. Not Kane's daughter. Olgimsky daughter. Not Kane. Because we know in Bachelor's storyline, it was the Kane that became the mistress or whatever. And yet, they say that, Capella will inherit the earth. Does that have nothing to do with the whole mistress thing at the end of the game? Which is... seems kind of like an important definitive thing at the end. Admittedly, they don't really say much about what the outcome of the mistress existing is, and then the game just kind of ends based on the plague. Like the mistress was just like a background detail, so it's hard to have really concrete ideas of what that means when the game just ends the moment the new mistress is declared, while not really doing anything with said mistress. Is that... I see it. I didn't see it so much as the weird shadow behind it was like distorting the background. I saw the faintest distortion in the fog, and I'm like, is that a unique item over there? That was probably blood Twire or something. Probably gonna go straight from this guy back home, and then dump all of my blood and Twire related stuff off. Give me some herbs worm. So White Whip is 15, Swervy is 20. This makes the Twire better at curing you, this makes the Twire hurt you less. Gotta keep those straight too. Let's see, 15, 20. I can do one of each basically. is probably for the best. Let's take a kidney back. That's really the only option if I want to make it 0. There we go. So I have 1 kidney now, and a whole lot more of everything else. Damn. That's a supply to add to the stock. I might not even brew anything with it. So far I've not been confronted with evidence that things even go bad in this game as a mechanic. Ooh, I see it again. See a distortion. And click. There we go. They're so much easier to see out here sometimes, I think. But you're so far away from everything else in the game that you are literally just on a twire mission, and you have no idea which twire you'll find, or if it'll even be useful, or where you'll find it, and so on. And you're not near any other parts of the game, so you are just kind of hanging out. Mixed feelings there. Can I get across here? We're good? Aha, you! I hate you. This one looks a lot like the other one, and this one stands out like crazy because it's so tall, and it's one of the more brightly colored things in the game. So every time I see it, I think it's a twire I can pick up. And it drives me crazy. Look how well framed it is, too, where it often looks like something I can get. There's one that spawns here sometimes that I've got earlier tonight. But what drives me crazy most about this one generic stock that doesn't matter is right here. Boom, look at that one. Look how much that one stands out. You can't see a single one like it here because they're all behind the fence. It's just that one. And you're like, oh my god, get it! Alright, that's not a thing. And then you look over here like, son of a bitch. It's just entering the zone of those things, but there's one precariously located one that stands out to an insane degree. And that one bothers me. But yeah, as far as I can tell, stuff just doesn't go bad in this game. So I'm just gonna stack it up like crazy back at my stash. No, stop stabbing that man. No, I was hoping he would live just long enough for me to kill you. Okay, that didn't quite work out. Ah, shit. Drop. No. Ew, it makes the sound every time I click on it. Even if I rapidly click on it. Ew. Ah, 1 blood sample versus like other things too. Well, 2 blood samples to be fair. Yeah, and I can't see what their values are compared to each other. I think razors are worth less than watches, I think. But I'm not totally sure. The 3rd day has come. Day 3 in which Haruspex uncovers the intricacies of the secret step code at great potential risk. The step code. Interesting. It sounds like I'll be interacting with the step people themselves. And that'll be like the focus of today. That's an interesting thing to hear. It also sounds like that was the last murderer of the day. I killed him, and then the bell rang to say, day's over. And I'm like, oh, okay. I probably got the last one. They probably have all despawned now. Fortunately, I still don't think I have a letter. Don't have a quest yet. Hey, there it is. How you doing? A new invitation from Vlad Ogimsky the Older. Incidentally, I have learned of the difficulties you face in figuring out the mysterious subject denoted by the ancient sign. Did Isidore's inheritance make reference to it? I think we have a lot to discuss. Do pay me a visit. Cool. So go back to Vlad Ogimsky, who I already tried to visit, but he had to go nighty-boo. Oh, my exhaustion's already halfway up. Great. Might not be the worst idea to re-rest a little bit, because my health and exhaustion are not capped out for the day's start. But I do have access to coffee. That said, when I start taking stuff that actually helps with my resistance, when I start taking a bunch of things that kick back the plague, that stuff generally kicks up my exhaustion, so maintaining coffee for later parts of the game's kind of necessary. And using it all up now is not the best idea. I don't know. Comes down, I guess, to how much I think I'll be able to get through today efficiently. I'd be really I'm concerned by the idea of whether there's garbage in the one next to my house, because that means that somebody was coming all the way to my house and then throwing something out. I'm like, why were they here, exactly? Let's see, I should sell some of these lockpicks again, probably. Let's, store a couple of them. I'll hold on to 2 and maybe sell one of those 2. Probably a good thing to do. There's the watches. Not even... Oh, yeah, the flower I can give to a girl. There we go. Oh. Still got that black twire. We have a lot of this stuff. Okay, so let's regather... This is a terrible inventory screen. It's just the worst. Needles. Those are in there. It was mostly needles and watches because my inventory was pretty full with other stuff. Oh! And the white whip. Alright, so at the 16... I have 16 black twire. I have 4 bloody twire. I have 10 brown twire. 2 Severvi. 3 white whip. I've been finding a few of those. I've been getting lucky. And, you know, 2 to 3 versions of each... copies of each drug. I mean, not drug. That's a load menu. Whoops. I have 2 or 3 copies of each body part, more or less. As you do, we have arrived unceremoniously. Also, I definitely didn't... Ah! Oh. I'm just trained to think if a plant stands out, that's the thing. But no, that doesn't... It only stands out because there's a weird singular plant in the middle of a knot. Ooh! Am I right this time? I'm not right this time. Damn it. Ah! That bright patch on the bottom of the brick combined with that looked like it was something way cooler than it was. Anyway, we're here, and let's just pretend I didn't do a 2-hour Monster Hunter stream in that jump cut. It's fine. That's a very hexagonal knocker you got there. Do you too have an interest in columns that are jointing?
Who could have thought? So an outbreak is upon us?
Yeah, that's the... One might even call it, like, like, I can't make it work. I was gonna say like a pathology, or you wouldn't even call it, might call it pathologic. I'm like, that's too awkward. Pathologic's too awkward of a thing to work into a sentence. Anyway, most honored Master Burak, or rather, Oinen Burak. You will be called that soon, for you are the keeper of knowledge, a warden, a menku, a surgeon, so to say. You've literally ripped the hearts out of 40 people this week. Like, holy shit. And even more than that. So, have you looked into the matter of your inheritance? He gives me so much praise, but in the story, I haven't really done much of anything yet, have I? I've mostly looked to run around and tried to prove my own innocence for the last few days. I have. Nothing is more important for me right now. There was a brand, wasn't there? And the documents bearing the same mark. That designates a secret name. Indeed, how do you know that? My daughter told me about these doomed children that the deceased used to take care of. I see no point in hiding the truth from you. The brand, this mysterious subject is marked with belongs to the secret steppe code. Can you read Longmark, the so-called circles or copious brands? You mean the hieroglyphic alphabet? I don't know this secret code. My kin does. Maybe some of the dong worms or the butchers. But I have to admit, it is me who stands beneath you and these secrets. Between you and these secrets, I have locked up all inhabitants of the termitary. A cruel decision? Pray forgive me. There's an epidemic, a quarantine. I cannot violate it. There are about 8,000 inside. What if the disease finds a way in? What if it already has? Most respected Bachelor Dankovsky has already harassed me with these pointless questions. No, it's a really important question. Literally every attempt at quarantining people into a building leads to everyone getting the infection running rampant inside said building and basically everyone dying in this game. It's a super important question. If the disease is already inside, then there's all the more reason to keep the doors shut. But enough about that. I want to help you. You want to know the meaning of the brand, don't you? I do. A few butchers managed to escape the termitary before it was blocked off. I propose a deal. I've explained to you how you may find them helpful. So you will be looking for them anyway. After you find them, tell me where they are. If you promise to do so, I'll tell you where to start. Let's see. They're supposed to go deal with the missing butchers. It's the same thing that happened in the Bachelor's storyline, actually. I agree. There is a shack. I've tried sending people over there already. They were greeted coldly. A certain lady lives in it. She is always in the loop. She knows the butcher's ways and what they're after. They say she was begotten by an Odong and a Twire bride. Start off there. She will treat you with respect. A bride? The gatherers. They've got these virgins, these so-called Twire brides. They claim to chase the herbs from below the ground and onto the surface. You're supposed to know this, aren't you? In any case, they do know you. They acted as midwives when you were born. Is that so? Well, you're Isidore Burke's son, the eldest Burke now. It means a lot to them that you are from a Menku family. Menku aren't just surgeons or butchers. They are healers, an almost sacred role, a spiritual one, so to say. All in all, the lady will honor your request and tell you about the runaways. Well, if that is enough, I'm going. Show me the place. So we're going to Aspity again. Yep, same thing as before.
What?
Thank God you're alive. I had to work to make it that way. We're off to see Aspity. She's never happy to see us. Never, 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 never happy to see us. She's not a very good host. Hello, neighbor. Might as well just check to see if there's something to do with you today.
So, do people genuinely die from this disease?
Be a very anticlimactic game if it wasn't. It's just a disease where you like sneeze for a few hours and it's kind of funny and then it goes away. Has it been hard on you lately? Why the sad look? I have been feeling dizzy again. I've had a pit. I feel that Notkin was in danger. Have the two of you met yet? He lives at the warehouses. Their castle is there. Castle? It's by the southern warehouses. That is where the soul and a halves, that's what they're calling themselves, live. He is not an urchin. He is just independent and parentless. And he's getting out of hand. Maybe you could check on him. What if he is indeed in danger? Sure, I'll check. It's literally on the way to where I'm going, actually. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's literally the same distance in a different direction. I was just thinking, oh yeah, you know, go by Notkin while I'm heading up to Aspity. Like, I think of that rail as a straight line, and it's not entirely wrong. But I'm used to being more in the Canes territory, where that kind of swoop makes a bit more sense. Okay, well.
It's this.
I have no idea who to talk to first, and that kind of sucks, because that could have massive ramifications on how today plays out. That's how that goes, unfortunately. Let's see. Am I gonna spot something behind this? I would just expect, like, oh yeah, it'd be a huge inconvenience to go around that entire fence again, so naturally the moment I look in that direction I'll find an herb just waiting, teasing me, just out of reach, where I have to go in a big circle to get to them. Straight line's fine. That should be good. And I've got some food at the moment. At the moment, there's my current stock is I have 10 grand and I've got that much food. A few stacks of things. I think there's gonna be a fair number of time skips, because, it's not unfun. Like, going out at night, trying not to take hits and trying to get organs and so on. It's not fun, but I'm really aware of the fact that if I show the entire process every night, that's going to be like an episode to an episode and a half of every day just being the part where I fight things to get loot items on a loop. And that's rough when we've already done an entire playthrough and we're going to have another one after this one. That's a lot of padding that isn't super necessary. You guys have largely had a taste of what it feels like now. I might show more of it when we cycle through to different enemy varieties. But once we have a status quo that's pretty much static, I'll probably not spend a lot of video on that. A little rough on my end in my recording schedule because that's a half an hour I'm doing, oftentimes that's not going into videos, so that means I just have to record that much longer. But I think the end result's better for the series. And then we'll get to the next playthrough faster, and the next plot point faster, and the next game after this one faster. I have no idea when Pathologic 2 is coming out at all, because it's just, it's in the vague development cycle of it's an early access alpha. There's some of it that's playable now, kind of, and stuff like that. I'm obviously not going to play it at all until it's, done. Playing an RPG when it's not done yet is just kind of pointless. So you're damaging the experience and spoiling parts of it for the purposes of getting an earlier, shittier version of the experience, basically. If you're super hyped about just seeing how it's going and stuff like that, I get the idea of like playing a free demo as a chance to preview what you might buy later, but aside from that, I don't see the purpose. Is that one? I think I see one. Yeah, that's a hard one to spot at a distance. The main thing is that the aliasing around the flower looks weird, and so that's something I can notice at a longer distance. But I would say that when I beat Pathologic 1 for all 3 campaigns, even if Pathologic 2 has already come out and in its 1.0 version, I'll probably intentionally not play it at first and play 1 or 2 other games and then come back to it later, even if I am no longer relevant at that point because I missed my window, because I think I'll be exhausted if I play both games back to back. That's a lot of the same thing.
Is it really that deadly? Yes, it is.
Also, I'm just jonesing to play Vampire the Masquerade. Even though I've never played it before and don't know what the gameplay is like, it's just been this thing dangling in the background and I just want to get to it next. Let us camp near the mountain, a suitable place. Let's camp near the river, a suitable place. What a strange coincidence. Do you know why I came here? I can imagine. You're looking for the runaway. Oh, it's such a shame Fat Vlad managed to weasel his way into your circle of friends. That friendship will do you no good. Oh no, but you're too late anyway. An outsider fop, a bachelor in a snakeskin coat, came by poking his nose everywhere. I've led the runaway butchers into the steppe. Otherwise he'd have shot them all dead. Kinda. When I did it as the bachelor, there was only one of them, and I did end up killing that guy. It is interesting to see how they reinterpret the events, where only the outcome matters, not your intent. Because I never had any intent to attack that guy. I was just trying to get information from him, but he attacked me on sight, and that it's kind of hard to do much at that point. So I had ended up killing him. I think it was my first fight in the entire game. I don't remember. Are they all gone? Some are still hiding throughout the town. I'm planning to collect them one by one. I found one already, and it won't take me long to find the rest. The children of Suok have no reason to expire in this torture chamber. You can count on me, Oinen. I won't let your people die. Where is this one hiding? You wouldn't turn him into Fat Vlad, would you? Promise? The butcher's life is mine to command. I shall decide his fate for my father. Then I want his fate to be oh no, typo. Decided. Then I want his fate to be decided by you, not by Fat Vlad. I am counting on your decency. You are your father's son, aren't you? I am. Okay, I'll tell you. His hideout is the place that anyone with 2 legs runs away from today. Look for him there. But be careful. He is being hunted. Don't let the hunters catch you too. Because if you, they won't waste their time trying to get to know you. The place that anyone with 2 legs runs away from today. The Plague District, I assume. Is there a Plague District yet? I haven't actually verified that yet. I've not encountered the Plague yet, and it's day 3. Did it take this long for the Plague to start in the Bachelor campaign? It's crazy to think about that I'm 3 days in, and also day 12 has no Plague. So that's like 4 days out of 12 with like negligible to non-existent Plague. It's like, I'm just so used to being stuck in the mire of that happening so all the time that like it's like foreign to me, the idea that there was so much time without the Plague. Like I internalized like a normalcy at some point, which is that half the place is like a third of the map is Plague, a third of the map is riots, and there's no Inquisitor and there's no military leader here. That was like the normal state in my head somehow, but it's like the most fleeting example of the city, wasn't it? Like by the time the Plague really gets into its full stride, the Inquisitor is there like 2 days later, I think. So I have like this fantasy idea of what the status quo of the gameplay loop tends to be. It's a real dynamic playthrough, and seeing the different eras of it reenacted kind of recontextualizes them along the way. Don't worry. He's just hiding up in a house. Yep. Yeah, my first guess is like the place that anyone 2 legs would run away from. My first guess was, oh, they're gonna run away from my house. The place that was the number 1 place people know the Plague is supposed to be in.
Shabnakadir is tracing the streets like bacteria in a vein.
Shabnakadir. Somebody said it out loud. Do you know what the long mark brand means? How could I? Women aren't allowed to know that. Pity. Hey, boink boink. They're still there from before. I bet I can use it as a long-term storage device. I think that box is just going to hang out there forever. Cue it being gone the next time I come here because it disappears now that I've emptied it. Those are things I had to drop because there were so many quest items in there. What a mean move. Like, I'm adapting to it and everything, but it's like a legit, like, dick move of the developers to put the organs and the plants. Not only are those in the same catalog, like, those are in the same category as each other, and they themselves share a category with the empty bottles, and those share a category with all. Oh, there's the Plague for the first time. Those share a category with all of your loot items that you use for trading, and those also share a category with every quest item in the game. Like, holy crap. Like, all that weapons have to deal with is like, oh no, my slot is weapons and lockpicks. That's crazy. But like, you got taken care of. Yep. I don't have a lens. Pressing V doesn't do anything, and I'm scared, guys. I have to go into a Plague District with no lens. Do I have to do that? I have to do that all game. It's a good thing I've got really good drugs. Yeah. 80% immunity. Oh shit. It's worth noting that 80% immunity doesn't do anything about my kick. Doesn't do anything about the actual level of infection. I need to work on the corpse porridge or whatever. I also wish I knew... Let's see, the main thing is to stay off the center of each walkway when you're in a Plague District, because that's where they tend to spawn, is right in the middle of where you'd walk. The main thing for me I'm worried about right now is I don't remember when the angel... I don't remember when the angel started showing up. I wish I knew exactly what day that was. Damn. Fucking Plague dodgeball over here. Alright. My exhaustion's up too, so I got that going for me too. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Now be very nice. Oh, shit. They picked the worst building to hang out in, huh? Ooh. Why'd the plague make everything fall over, exactly? Well, I got a bullet. That's exciting. Oh, no. No infection yet, but it looks like I'm gonna get it. Looks like that's moving around. Time to figure out the mystery of my inheritance. I will have to visit... Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Aspity gave up the life of the butcher, albeit reluctantly, so my birthright puts me in charge of the children of Bodo. As long as whatever I do is meant to serve the common good, I need to find the fugitive to be sure. Are you upstairs? I don't like how much plague cloud is around me right now. I'm definitely getting the plague today, aren't I? That's a random dying person, which those are unfortunately everywhere. Hey there. I don't see any plague clouds around. Did they just disappear? Were they only there for like atmospheric reasons? Why did you come, child of Bodho? I want to ask you about Longmark. I have no knowledge of the circles of Longmark. I am neither an Oinen nor a Menku nor a shaman. Tell me what this brand means. You are an Oinen of a Menku kin, are you not? I've seen this brand before. I don't know its lines. I've seen it in a terrible place. There is a corridor in the depth of the abattoir. The route that Supremes take when they come from steppe to be celebrated. Oinen, the foreman of the abattoir, can explain the meaning to you. I've gotta go to yeah, the foreman. The foreman was one of the bound, right? Was the foreman one of Clara's bound? Because all of my bound are children, unless he's gonna get added to the list later. But the foreman was this character that was being referred to that I couldn't interact with. Yeah, once the termitary was opened as the bachelor, I went through all that goddamn work to gain access to the abattoir, only to have a cutscene happen that immediately kicked me out of that. That was so late in the game, though. Right, that syncs up perfectly with Brick showing up? Block, the commander guy. Because the timeline is... I wonder... Oh yeah, that's probably the timeline. I think it might... Is it the day 3? I don't know. I think the Inquisitor shows up on day 7. 6 or 7. And then the commander shows up on day like 8 or 9 or 9 or 10. It's every like third of the way through the game. Like 1/3 of the way the plague kicks up, halfway through the game the Inquisitor shows up, and then for the last, sorry, not third of the game, the first fourth of the game is over, and then the plague shows up. Halfway through the game the Inquisitor shows up, and then when you're 3/4 of the way through, the commander seems to show up. Which means that like the bachelor opened up access to the abattoir 3/4 of the way through the game. Do I have to wait that long in order to... I wonder if I'll have to wait that long to meet the foreman. Because at that point in the bachelor story, Haruspex was claiming he did not have access. He was trying to get into the abattoir too. And like once I opened up access, then he himself suddenly had access and he was able to deal with the people in there when I couldn't because they attacked me on sight. And then also I just literally was not given access to that. Like the door just didn't work. I wasn't able to even try going in there. Oh, and the foreman of the abattoir can explain this meaning to you. Where can I find this foreman? He often sees the master, Boss Vlad. Ask the master. Or enter the abattoir if you're brave. What else can you tell me about the sign? If something is marked with a sign, that is neither a man, nor a child of Bodo, nor of Suok. It's a supreme. What you need is not a man, Oinan. Your father has something to do with those who walk in the corridor. It scares me. The brand is drawn there for a reason. They are not men. That is all I know. Well, thanks anyway. The kin will welcome you kindly. Your kindly. Ah, typo. Oinan. Hurry up. Big Vlad's men will be here soon. It is a shame that I have to leave this hideout. There are patrols outside. You can get out of here when it's dark. Thank you, Oinan. Well, hope he makes it. He helped me out. And they're my people, and Vlad is not. Even though he is oddly smitten with me, which I will use. I found a needle! You're really not supposed to just go around with dirty needles. It's a bad idea. Ugh! I don't like how it keeps doing that. It's making me nervous.